Happy Thursday, April 9th, Alexa week. I have a pimple. I have massive bags under my eyes. I've almost lost my voice. What's up, guys? Come on in. I'd like to address the pimple. I'd like to address the bags under the eyes, and I'd like to address the raw voice. I'm proud of all three. It's the year of transparency, right? Maybe I should shut off that light. It seems to be giving me a glow. Are we good? That is a nervous hive. That's what that is. It's not a nervous hive. I get them quite frequently. But no, I get them rarely. Why am I sharing this with you? Blah, 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 blah. I am a little discombobulated because I am super proud with what I've accomplished for this week. Come on in, guys. What's up? You know what's interesting about the Octo content journey? People are dropping as we go along. They're either dropping off. No, the replays are being watched, but not as much. People are dropping out. How's it going? What's up? How you guys doing? I'm pumped up. Yes, we are live. I will need to address some questions today for sure, because today is a different kind of a day. Today I tamed a beast. No, I didn't tame a beast. I figured stuff out, a lot of stuff out. I'm going to take a breath because here's what's going to happen today. First of all, it's a hive of excitement. I get them here as well. I get them here. I get one here. Sometimes you'll see it. And I get one here and I get one here. I get these in these spots because I've just recognized the patterns. And when I was in computers and I used to get, it's a mix of emotions is what it is. I could be nervous. I could be excited. There could be anxiety. I could be pumped up for something. Being nervous and being excited, by the way, is the same I lisped, is the same biological, physiological emotion. Your body, it's the same thing. It's doing the same thing. It's the same feeling. Being nervous and being excited. Whether you're nervous or excited, that's up to you. That's your mindset. You decide. So if you're nervous in a situation, or if you're excited in a situation, it's the same emotion physiologically. So, oh my God, I better chill out. That's an early squirrel. I'm going to not share my thoughts today. I'm going to share the facts about Alexa. I put her on mute. I'd like to give 3 big thank yous, by the way. I will do something special for 3 people. I don't know what yet, guys. Maybe we can do, I love you all. I love you all, but 3 of you went above and beyond to help me. I was stuck. I was stuck, like stuck. Today's Alexa week. I'm calm now. The nervous hives, they're not because of nerves. They're because I'm really excited right now. And I want to have this recording as I want to go back on it in a year. So I really want to spit out this webinar properly so I could take clips from it and see how right these predictions are when it comes to Alexa, getting on Alexa, getting in the skills store. So we're here, we're good, you can hear me, everybody's happy. Where are you from? This will be interesting. Where are you from? Please, I'm looking. I know a lot of you through social media, but I don't know where you are. I don't know if you're in the US. I don't know if you're in Canada. It's going to be important today. So put in where you're from, please, right now, and we'll get started. Today is week, I rambled on, but I don't really know where to start. I have notes. I have a pre-recording, but I will start by saying this. Welcome to Alexa Week. This is week number, 11. We have 2 more weeks to go in the Octo Content Model journey. Next week, we syndicate to everything that's not voice. We already went on iTunes with calls to action. I told you, I didn't know if I told you, but I started this webinar calm. I'm going to get excited very quickly. So I'm going to take a sip of tea. I'm going to take a breath. This is my most exciting week because I've been forced into figuring something out that obviously was much more difficult than I had assumed. Today is Alexa week. Today we go on Alexa. We build a flash briefing skill today. I'm going to grab my notes. I will start by saying it was one of the most challenging things for me to figure out, period. Period. Not because of the time allocated. That was a good thing. I worked tirelessly to figure this out. The amount of time was one thing, but the lack of resources to show me how to do this there is nothing out there. The stuff that's out there, it doesn't put anything together for you. Not what I was finding, and I was digging and I was trying, and there was just so many challenges to get it done. I will start by saying I am on Alexa. I am in Canada and I am in the USA. It's a big deal. So now all I need to do is upload to my SoundCloud, to my RSS feed, and my Alexa updates. Unbelievable. Today, I will show you how to do that. It will look very simple today. Let's keep it at that. It's simple. It is simple because I made it simple. You don't need to know what I went through, but I went through a lot. So I would like to begin by thanking 3 people. I thank you all for, being here for sure. It's a huge opportunity, but 3 of you went above and beyond to help me in this situation. I was at the brink of sending it to my list. I need help. I just needed I needed help with anybody with an Amazon account. You don't need an Alexa. I made a little video. I'll tell you what I asked for. I rarely ask for anything, guys, believe me. And when I ask for something, I need it. 3 people stepped up. So was stepped up in above and beyond. Ben Fraser, I don't believe we've ever met. You're in the Laboom squad. Nice to meet you. I don't know if you're on the webinar tonight. I don't see you. If you are, say hello. Ben, well, we'll start with Anthony Hendrickson. Anthony Hendrickson, how are you, my friend? We've never met. Let's do a Zoom. Maybe we could, let's just do a Zoom. Let's chat. I think we talked about that before. Anthony Hendrickson, you were of great assistance. I'm just going to give some thank yous. I never do that. Just because I was really stuck and I needed help. And Anthony Hendrickson, what you did is you did like, you filmed, you recorded yourself. I was asking people if they can see my skills in the USA Alexa store. There's a skills store. We're going to go through that tonight. And I can see, I don't know if I should go too deep. Oh, by the way, I'm in US and Canada. I think I said that before. I can only see the Canadian store. People in the US can only see the US store. If you live in the USA, I'm looking at where you're from. If you live in another country, ta-da, I will show you how to do that tonight too. But if I'm in a Canadian store, if I have an Amazon account and I'm in Canada and I develop a skill in Canada, I see it in the Alexa store, but the rest of the world doesn't see it. How do I get on? How do I go global? But here's the worst part. I don't even know I'm not in the US. So for me, I'm like, great, I'm up. Why am I not getting any traffic? Why can nobody find me? knowing what the problem is the battle, actually. Once you know what the problem is, then you figure it out. So I needed to know, can you guys see me in the US store? So I have some people who live in the US, so in the Laboom squad. So I know it's not everyone, obviously, but there's a handful. So I thought there's got to be people with an Amazon account. Anthony Hendrickson, thank you. What Anthony did was he did a screenshot just going in the Alexa store and showing nothing. So that was step one. Thank you, Anthony. That got me to that next level of I got to show up in the US store. So I did what I did. I worked my magic and I'm like, I think I'm in the US store. Then Ben Fraser, I'm a big fan of screenshots because I can see, because I cannot see the US store. And then Brand Fraser put a screenshot saying I'm in the US store. Thank you, guys. Thank you. A third mention, if you guys ever see any problems with my Alexa stuff in the US store, or if you're listening to my flash briefing or podcast, please let me know. I'll be so grateful because I can't see it. Anything I build or test to teach you guys, I can test. I've got all the devices, all the platforms, but unfortunately, this is the exception. There is no simulator to be in an Amazon.com account. You guys get that? Chris Schaus. Thank you, Chris. I'll tell you guys what Chris figured out the other day is that, you know, when I say, well, this will not be a podcast, so I can say it. You know when I say, Alexa, stop? You guys know I say this, right? Because I was doing a podcast episode, which is on Alexa. We'll talk about that today. How we can get full podcasts on Alexa. See, I told you I'd get pumped up. I'm about to get really pumped up. Chris Schaus notified me. She goes, hey, Mark, we got a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And how's that voice, Chris? How you doing, Chris? Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Because I said Alexa, stop in my podcast. But by the way, those of you who are watching me now and you have the volume up, Alexa probably responded. That's her wake word. So if Alexa pops out and it's coming out of the podcast on the Alexa device, she stops herself. It's crazy. I never even thought of that. That's something Amazon should be notified of. I'll probably send them a message. I'll be like, if someone says Alexa in a podcast and keeps talking, she hears it as she's saying it. She shuts herself up. It's like, so you can't get past that point in a podcast. Because like halfway through one of my podcast episodes, Chris was saying, she goes, as soon as I get to that point, you go, Alexa, stop. And she stops. She goes, I listened to it again and I just can't get past it because you keep stopping yourself. So don't say Alexa if you're going to syndicate your podcast to Alexa. Thank you, Chris Schaus, for that. So three big shout outs. I was stuck, guys. I couldn't have kept going. I was going to send a message to my list. Wow. But that's okay. I don't mind taking time for thank yous. Those are very specific thank yous. Done. We'll do something special for you guys for sure. Now, to the task at hand. I'm not going to make too many bold predictions, but I will. First things first, I'm glad this webinar is limited. I'm glad it's limited. As a matter of fact, I'm reluctant to share information. I will share it with you guys because that's what I do, but I will share what's necessary. If you want to be resourceful and really look into this more, well then join my paid webinar next week. It's $50 entry fee. Link in the description. It'll be that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, it's not happening. I just said that. But this is no TikTok. This is, let me get the word, infinitesimally better. I got it. Infinitesimally better. This is no joke where voice is going. I've spent a lot of time on statistics, forecasts, and predictions. I know where it's going. I got faith, but it's, what would you call an educated risk or a calculated risk? by going all in on this. And when I say all in, I say I'm going to tell you how to go all in today. After today, it'll be super simple. So I want to share some statistics with you. You guys ready? Can anyone say land grab? I'm going to calm down because I don't want to sell it. The less people that take action, the less people that see this video on how simple I'm going to make it right now, the better. It's that small. The influencers on Alexa right now they're almost non-existent. So by me teaching this, I'm directly creating competition for myself and for all of you in a way that we cannot imagine. There are 100 million devices currently already in people's homes. They're already there. This thing is growing fast. I'm going to show you guys a graph. In the past 2 years, what's been happening and what's about to happen is no joke. This is like buying land before land was land. Like I'm talking real estate land. This is very serious business. So I'm not going to sell you on it. I'll say do it if you want to, but it's not necessary. But I'm really saying give it all you got if you want to make it. I'm not going to sell you too much because, like I said, competition for myself, big time. Let me tell you guys what's going on. There are 100 million. Should I write it down? Write it down. Yeah, I'm going to write it down. No, I'm just going to tell you. For the go-getters, for the ones who want it, for the ones who get it, what I'm about to say, if you get it, I'm going to show you how to do it, but I'm going to share with you how scarce the app developers are on Alexa. First of all, it's very hard to do. But for you, it's going to be easy to do after tonight. Okay. 100 million devices right now. That's 25% of US homes. I'm taking a cheers for this. Guess how many iPhones there are in the world? Can anyone guess how many people use an iPhone? 100 million. Coincidence? Maybe. The people who have iPhones have iPhones. There's not going to be too many more people. That part of the market's taken because other things are taking up the market. There's diehard Android. There's all kinds of there's other options to iPhone. As far as Alexa goes, are there any other options? Well, there's where my take will come in. Are they going to control more than 25% of US homes? Yes, of course they will. Everybody has a phone. And there's only 25% of people who have an iPhone, but everybody already has a phone. Now, voice devices, only 25% of homes have a voice device. And there's already 100 million. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like that's going to increase, but it's increasing super fast. Half of the homes are going to have a voice device, and there's going to be more voice activated users than people with an iPhone. Why am I saying that? That's not the important part. That's not the part where you jump out of your chair. That's not the part where my heart's starting to race right now. Let's look at the numbers. 100 million Alexas. 100 million iPhones. How many apps do you think there are for the iPhone? There are over 2 million apps. How many apps do you think there are on Alexa? Last year, 2 years ago, it was 10,000. There's 100 million, 10,000. On the iPhone, 100 million, 2 million. Now it's almost 100,000 skills. Flash briefings, Alexa skills, almost 100,000 compared to 2 million. How fast is that growing? That's within a year or two. Within 2 years, it went from 10,000 to 100,000. Just, do you guys understand what's going on? There's 100 million, 100 million. There's 2 million. There's 100,000. Like, what do you think is going to happen next year? It's going to definitely be 150,000, then 200,000. And as those numbers increase, who do you think is going to rock that? Who do you think is going to grab all the land? Me. Or you, and you if you want to join me. I have no benefit to you joining me. As a matter of fact, it cuts into my, you're taking land from me, but I'm glad to share. There you have it. That's all I need to say about that. I don't think I'm going to keep going. It's not, I don't need to sell you on it. You either see it or you don't. The good news is for you, you're going to see exactly how to do it. Holy crap. Okay, so I got something very interesting to say. I've been on Alexa. Where should I start? There's a couple of exciting things. Okay, I'm going to start here. We're doing flash briefings, but guess what I found out? This is not advertised, by the way. I didn't know this was even a possibility. Neither do any podcasters out there. Only the really clever ones are doing this, and they're banking. They're making bank. Did you know? What if I told you that you could host your podcast to Alexa? Your full podcast, long form, not just flash briefings, your full podcast. Come on now. That's ridiculous. That nobody advertised. If you look that up in Google, well, I don't know. I looked it up. No, I do know. They're going to say, how can you listen to podcasts through Alexa? They don't talk about creating a flash briefing that's a podcast. Like, here we go. You guys ready? Alexa, volume 5. Alexa, volume 6. Alexa, what's my news?
Here's your news. From Gary V365.
Alexa, next.
From Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer podcast.
I need a little more money this week. I need a little more money this month. I didn't say I deserve it. I said I need it. Alexa, next. Hey guys, today I'd like to... Alexa, next. It interrupts everything I do. I work from home. Alexa, next. I need my fix, and I need it now. Alexa, next. Hey guys, being fearful can be physically dangerous. Alexa, next.
From Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer news.
You're going to feel the fear and whatever you
Alexa,
do.
stop.
Okay, and let me mute her now. Do you guys understand what just happened there? I'm going to tell you. I have 2 flash briefings. I have one for podcasts and I have one for news. News is the flash briefings, the clips that we intended on doing, that we are doing today. We've already done those clips, but we've also done podcasts. What if you can have one skill that's podcasts and one skill that's news? Well, you can. We just listened to all my podcast episodes thus far. If a user goes through your podcast episodes, now I don't want to share too much, but if they do, then you just listen, they hear your new episode every day. Okay, do you understand what that means? I put a podcast episode on my SoundCloud with that RSS. Tomorrow people go, Alexa, what's my news? My podcast shows up in their home. It's crazy. They don't have to go to YouTube and watch my video. They just wake up and do it. I'm going to stop there. I think you may understand the power of having your podcast on there. Guess who else has got their podcast on Alexa? A lot of podcasters out there, big famous podcasters. Guess who else? Nobody. No, there are some, but they're the ones who are cashing in. Oh, I'm one of them now, by the way. Would you like to be one of them too? You got your podcast anyways. You're getting that tonight. It's a separate RSS feed. You're very, very welcome. My Wealthy Trainer blog, oh, by the way, it's the first time in my whole career, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 6 years on online marketing, trying to build an audience. This is the first time that my numbers My numbers are climbing by themselves. They're just climbing. Every podcast episode, they're climbing. They're climbing. They're it's not huge, but they're going up. With every episode, there's more listens, and I'm not doing anything. Zero marketing. Now, you know why that's happening? This is my theory, and I know I'm right. Because there is stacking going on. If I get 100 new listeners, let's say, that's crazy numbers. These 100 new listeners now will hear your podcast the next day. But what if you got a rate of 100 per day? You no longer have 100 downloads. The next day you have 200, 300, unless some people unsubscribe. Do you hear what I'm saying? Now what's that doing? Because we in the Laboom Squad have calls to action in our podcasts. Because of that, folks, and because we have micro story at the end, my blog numbers are going through the friggin' roof on my Wix site. Because of that. I'm not marketing. Okay? Are we happy? Can we move on? Because I'm done. I'm done selling it. I'm excited. I will look at my notes, but this is very exciting for me. 26 minutes. It's almost 9:30, and I have to plug in a video of, well, here's what I'm going to do. We could save the questions for after, because I think I gave too much, but I will look here. I gave my thank yous, land grab, couple of things. Do you guys remember who remembers when I applied for the podcast? I shared with you guys. Who remembers when I did the iTunes thing, podcast week? I know some of you did it. Who did? I won't say who took action, but I know some of you took action. But you remember when I plugged in a video, guys, from when I applied for the podcast? I plugged in a video from when I did it in real time. Well, I did that as well with Alexa. I did it. When I applied for Alexa, there's a lot of stuff, guys, that you don't want to do. And instead of telling you what you don't want to do, I'm just going to tell you what to do. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to share with you the application process. Just looking at the time, it's 9:30. This video is about 20 minutes, maybe a little longer. It's the entire process. I'm plugging it in. Maybe I'll jump in the chat, but guys, I don't know. I can jump in the chat, but you need to focus here. If it took me a lot of, you know what, do what you want. Do what you want, but I'm just saying the steps are very specific, and you learn a lot by seeing someone who's a little bit confused, if that makes any sense. It actually does not make sense, but it's true. Here's something that's interesting. Whenever I do something real time, please, this is important. Hey, take it or leave it. Whenever I do something in real time, like signing up for the Alexa account, if I were to know what I was doing exactly, it's like, you're like, okay, that's too fast. Why did you go here? Why did you do that? But when I do like I did with iTunes, and I'm new at it as I'm doing it, it's better. Because you're going to see, I'm like, what does that mean? Let's find out what that means. And then I'm like, oh, that's what that means. You guys with me? When I'm explaining to myself, you get a better understanding. Because this video is coming from a beginner standpoint. Right now I'm an expert. I'm pretty well an expert at it. I could crank out a skill like that. I did that in 2 weeks. Can you believe that? You believe that? I went from 0 to hero in the Alexa world. That's how. Take the time and study a skill, because now I'm valuable. Now I'm valuable. Somebody wants to build a flash briefing and they want to hire me. They're going to want to hire me. There's nothing available out there. Or if I sell a training on it or put up a video on YouTube, you guys should probably do that. Hey, my content's for you guys, okay? You can do whatever you do what you want, do as you please. But here's what we're going to share. We got going right now. I just want to frame it for you guys. This is when I applied for the Alexa flash briefing. So I'm going to need to, when I come back out, after this video plays, I'm going to address a few mistakes that I've done, okay? So the mistakes, I'll tell you in advance really quick. When I apply in the developer back office, first of all, don't use the blueprint function. If those of you who are searching on your own, build an Alexa flash briefing, don't use the blueprint function, okay? It's not what we need. It's not what we need, okay? That's all I'll say. I don't need to provide details on why not to, just don't. We have to go in the developer console. We have no choice. But I hope I make it simple for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to watch with you. And then when I come back out, as I watch it with you, because I'm watching it with you right now, I'm going to take notes and see what I can address. Maybe we're going to talk about, it's pretty clear what I did. And then I'm going to show you myself in the store, how I got approved. I'm going to show you how to design the images maybe. Yeah, you're going to want to know that. I'm going to show you how to adjust your dates in SoundCloud, because in SoundCloud, it plucks everything from there. So if you have an old podcast or you want to change the date, well, that'll spit it out on Alexa at that date. It picks up on that. What else will I show you? I'll show you how I have 2 separate SoundCloud accounts. You don't need 2. I have one for my podcast that plucks from there. So when I upload to my podcast SoundCloud, it goes in that flash briefing. And I have a SoundCloud account for my flash briefings. I know it's a lot for some of you, but I'm going big, yo. I have one for my flash briefings, which are little news clips, because SoundCloud accounts can only have 1 RSS each. I think I talk about that in the recording. So what I'm going to do before I get ahead of myself, and you need also a skill for per country. So I'm going to need one for the UK. I'm going to need one for the USA, which I have. I'm going to need one for Canada so I can test, which I have. I have Canada, I have USA, and it's really easy to create another one for the UK, but you can't test it. Which is why I may hit some of you up. Who is from the UK? Can you tell me right here? That's my next stop. The market's growing really big there. Please let me know in the chat. I'm going to ask you to check in the UK store too. But it's the same thing. It's just a different skill, this process, except I go with distribute to the world. Don't do that. It doesn't work. Not for what we're doing. Just go US, default location, if you're from the US. Wherever you're from, start there, and then do it again for the US, okay? Make sense? It'll make sense. Let's watch the video. It's my favorite week. We're about to, I'm stopping. Plugging the video. You know what? I will jump in the chat, but if you guys are talking about how nice it is outside and the coronavirus and, I don't know, my dog's barking or... If it's not, I want to pay attention to the training, because when I come back out, I want to address what was wrong with it. Because this is my first submission. As you'll see, I'm nervous on what to click. You're going to have to watch this replay. And I promise, La Boomers, you will be in the group immediately after tonight. So you could go review it. Don't try to take too many notes. There's too much. Just be present and try and formulate questions, because I'm coming back out to answer. Let's share my screen and watch this together. We're having a watch party, okay? Let me know when you see my screen, please. This is Mark, pre-recorded Mark from, oh my God, this is a couple of weeks prior. We are actually just ending March 31st as I'm filming this, because I know the approval was a real pain in the butt the first time I did it. So I'm sure that Thursday Mark, I'll call him Thursday Mark. I'm sure that the live Thursday Mark explained a lot of stuff, what to get ready, okay? Such as in case you didn't show them live Thursday Mark, show them this, okay? I'll just kind of glance over it. We've got our feed names. We've got feed name. In case Thursday Mark didn't mention it, I'll reiterate. We are doing a flash briefing today. We're submitting a flash briefing, also known as the news. So I would say, Alexa, what's my news? Or what's my flash briefing? But I trigger it, and most people trigger it with Alexa, what's my news? So this is the feed I will apply for today. In case Thursday Mark did not mention anything about the podcast, I'm over the moon. So Thursday Mark, let the people know that they can put up a full podcast on Alexa as well. I did not know that. I have not submitted it. And today, which is March 31st, this is the recording for my submission for my flash briefing, not my podcast. But I will do my podcast too. So hopefully on Thursday, I will have been approved for both. But today, I'm just applying for the flash briefing. Fair enough. Okay, so I have the feed name. I have, I don't know what they call this. We're going to find out. But this is what Alexa will say. It's like when I ask for my news, well, on Thursday, I'm sure Thursday Mark will demonstrate it. Thursday Mark, demonstrate it, okay? It'll say, here's your news from Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer News. Yeah, that's what I want, because that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it the Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer News. You may not need this if you're not going to do your podcast as well. I'm going all in, but let's just get into it. I've got a default message. The Wealthy Trainer is currently not available. I have all this ready because right now we're applying. I don't even know if I'll get approved. I struggled a lot for this, guys. Here's my description. You can ignore the doubles. Like I say news and I say podcast. I say news, I say podcast. This is because these are two different skills. I hope you explained this properly, Mark, Thursday Mark. These are two different Alexa skills that I'm creating. For the scope of the Octo content model, we're only doing flash briefings, okay? Okay. But I'm sure I'll be approved for both by the time Thursday Mark is on. I have my description. It's the same one from the podcast description from the last session, I believe it was, yeah. So same description. I don't need to go through this. I just highlighted this because in my case, for my podcast skill, I'll put podcast. For my news skill, I'll put news. So since we are doing the news today, which is, when I say news, I mean flash briefing. News, I'll highlight it. Just for my own reference. So I'm kind of working by myself here so I could change it to podcast. I will apply for the podcast one after. First, I'm just doing this, see how this rolls, and it'll give me enough time to go through the process for the podcast one as well. And I'll talk about that when Thursday Mark will talk about that. Now, I'm sure Thursday Mark talked about this as well. You can only have one RSS feed per SoundCloud account. So what I did, now you don't have to do this. You don't need to do this. But I wanted two different RSS feeds because I don't think I'll go through RSS feed too much right now. RSS feed is your SoundCloud. Whatever is on your SoundCloud, when you upload to your SoundCloud, let me show you. Why not do this? I know it's pre-recorded, but if Thursday Mark talked about this, well, you're getting a double reinforcement of knowledge because it's good to know. This was my original SoundCloud. And this is what I submitted to iTunes. And what I did was I in the settings for each audio, I put in, let me go edit this. Oh, I'm in the wrong account. See, I have 3 accounts now. Do not get overwhelmed. You're only going to need one. I have one for just my marketing purposes. This is me. This does not need to be you. You will just need one SoundCloud account. I just want different skills with different RSS feeds. So I'm no longer using my RSS feed from my main account for my iTunes podcast. I changed it. I have a SoundCloud account strictly for podcast episodes, long form, and I have another SoundCloud account for simply flash briefings, which are 1 minute or less. Okay? Now don't even worry about it, because in your settings, which one am I on right now? I should be on the news one. Let me check. Yeah, because there we are. We're on the news one. Okay, so on your track, when you edit it, you have permissions. We went through this last week. See how it says include in RSS feed? That's cool. I can include or not include. So if I was to go on my initial SoundCloud, this seems a little jumbled around, but I'm glad to get it in a recording. So this will be useful. Thursday Mark will probably address this, or you don't have to Thursday Mark, because I'm addressing it now. This is my main account. If you're going to have just one SoundCloud account, and if you look at some of my stuff, like Eric Worre's stuff, or when I was on the Millionaire Road radio show, or my MLSP podcast where I was invited as a guest, I don't want those in my feed. If I'm going, like for Alexa, for example, if I put up my flash briefings on my channel, I don't want these to go into my feed. They're not flash briefings and they're not congruent with my brand, but I still want them on my channel. Okay? So this is where if I go to, I'm not logged into this account, but if I were to go onto a non-feed sound clip, like if I did not put on that checkbox, if I took off this checkbox, include an RSS feed, it would not be in my RSS feed and it wouldn't go to the Alexa. Does that make sense? I can't see you. There's no chat. I'm pre-recording, but I will answer questions. Thursday, Mark, answer questions, okay? To the fine people attending on Thursday. So here's the problem with that. For me, since I want to have two different RSS feeds, it's only one per SoundCloud account. So my situation is exceptional. It's exceptional. Yes, I have an exceptional situation. For me, because I'm going big and I want to have one channel, one RSS feed that's only flash briefings, and I want one RSS feed that's literally only podcast episodes in long form. I thought that was the coolest thing. I gotta say what's on my mind. I was like, are you kidding me? I could put full podcast episodes and people could sign up for that as an Alexa like news, or they could subscribe to my podcast on Alexa. I'm like, are you kidding me? Well, then I'm doing it. I had to do it. I could not resist. So I call it Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer podcast. And for my flash briefings, it's Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer news. Okay, I rambled on, but that was really valuable information. It was. In case in the future you want to host your entire podcast on Alexa, I know where Alexa's going. I know it's hard to envision, or it's hard to have a vision when the world has not arrived there yet, but I already know. I'm doing a land grab. I want to get super popular and have a ton of audience members on Alexa before it's in every single home. So it's kind of like a land grab play. Whoo! I'm talking to myself right now, by the way. Guys, there's nobody watching. It's kind of weird. Maybe that's why I'm so good at making things look live when I'm not. Well, here we go. We are doing news today. We're doing our flash briefings. So what I've done is I've uploaded my 1-minute clips, which we've done. 1-minute clips onto my SoundCloud. I'm going to play one for you. Which one do you want to hear? I can't ask you because we're not live. Which one do I want to hear? I'll just show you. It's a 1-minute clip. I'll just click this one. The Roscoe the dog. You're going to feel the fear in whatever you do. And the more fearful you are, the more of that you will attract. And you're going to get caught in a slippery slope of being afraid to get on the phone. The simplest things. So face your fear, bust it through as uncomfortable as it is, and as cliche as this sounds. By being fearful, you will attract more fear. So bust out of it. Let's leave you with this quote. Feel the fear, but do it anyways. Okay, so that was, again, this is a pre-recorded video, but I'm just going to tell you, that was the 1-minute clip that we did in like one of the earlier Octo Content sessions when we cut out your audio clips. So now we're ready to go and submit this RSS feed to our Amazon new flash briefing. This is super exciting. Now, Thursday, Mark, I want to remind you on something here, brother. Okay, Thursday, Mark, are you listening to yourself here? People are going to ask, or many of the people watching are probably going to wonder, did I do a cover art for every single flash briefing? Why would I do that? These are different cover arts. You're in trouble if your thing is not consumable. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Become a champ by working with what you have. If you look at these are the whole podcast, which is Fear Feeds Fear, how I became a millionaire in my 20s, how my unicycle helped me become the master of my skills. Did I actually create a whole new cover art for every single flash briefing? Why would I do that if it's on Alexa? It doesn't even show up. So I want you to address that, Mark, Thursday, Mark, why you're doing this, why you're putting up all this different cover art if it's not going to show up on Alexa. And I also want you to address, there's something else I don't want you to forget on Thursday, brother, as I talk to myself. Of course, in case you haven't been focusing, this is the pre-recorded clip that we're about to apply here. What do I want to say? There was something else. Well, I think it'll come to me on Thursday. Why? Oh, yeah. I want you to also explain to the fine folks that are watching how we plan on creating multiple flash briefings per one podcast episode. Please go through that, Mark. In a nutshell, I plan on creating multiple flash briefings, multiple 1-minute clips from a full podcast episode. We have a weekly method of operation which covers one podcast episode, but I would like to get from 5 to 7 clips from it so that I could have daily flash briefings and weekly podcast episodes. Okay? Go into more detail on that Thursday, Mark, please. Okay. I think we've covered everything. Now you just have, this is on the SoundCloud portion. I'm going to go look at the RSS feed, which is up here. 3 buttons under settings, under content, and there it is. That's the RSS feed. I put it in a file right here. Here it is. So that's what I will use. I've got everything ready to go. So now we are ready to apply for our official flash briefing approval. Once again, it's March 31st as I'm recording this. Hopefully Thursday, Mark will have it approved and he'll be able to do a live demo for you on his Alexa device. Isn't that right, Thursday, Mark? Okay, I'm having fun and I'm also hesitating a bit, procrastinating, but here we go. Oh my God, this was a nightmare. Thursday, Mark, I'm sure will tell you himself how difficult this was to make simple. But the good news is, I believe I have the simple path We are about to find out. First thing is first, you need an Amazon account. You need to go register for an Amazon account, kind of like we did last week with an iTunes account. This is a whole different platform. We need a whole new account. So I can't talk to you. Thursday, Mark will, but you need an Amazon account. So first URL, you're going to need two URLs. First one is alexa.amazon.com. Okay, it's about to get very, very real here. Okay, I need to sign into my Amazon account. And I hope I wasn't being naughty. Okay, good. A little bit of NSYNC, a little bit of Backstreet Boys. Maybe I shouldn't have shown that. But yeah, what the heck. I like my NSYNC and Backstreet once in a while. This is your history of what you asked Alexa to play. It records everything. This is your Alexa back office. Okay? So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Thursday, Mark, we'll get more into it. If you have questions, ask Thursday, Mark. Thursday, Mark's going to become a thing, I think. So here we go to skills. These are the skills that are available in the Alexa store or the Amazon store. I'm kind of winging it as I'm recording this. I want to be here. We want to be here. So if someone was to type in the wealthy trainer, my skill would show up. So it's kind of like someone is subscribing to your YouTube channel. It's exactly like that, actually. It's exactly like that, but it's better for a lot of reasons. People will say, Alexa, what's my news? And there you will be. It's like kind of like, it's crazy. People don't have to go online to watch your video, and they're going to do that anyways if they're fans. But usually you have to kind of get them to do that. Okay, I'm doing a pre-recorded video. Thursday, Mark, try to be clear on the importance of getting on this platform so that when you do get approved, you hopefully did Thursday, Mark, when you do get approved, that people understand we're all starting at the same place. And in a year from now, when you, Thursday, Mark, you're like an Alexa superstar, the reason you are is because you're doing this today. And I'm actually doing this right now. So let's do this. This is March 31st, pre-recorded, Mark. This is just where you can check out the status of your skills, download your skill, subscribe to your own skill, share your skill with the world so they could subscribe to it. Thursday, Mark will be more detailed on this because he will know more than March 31st, Mark, which is me right now. So, next site. Here we go. Who's ready? I can't see you, but we're going to do this. I'm doing this myself. I may not talk much because I have to be very careful where I click. You need an Amazon developer account. Don't be scared. It's free. You just sign up. It's going to connect it with your Amazon account. Your Alexa account is connected to your Amazon account. But your developer account, don't be scared. You won't have to program the way I have this set up here, or the way I plan on doing this. It's a different account. So you have to register for a developer account aside from your Amazon account is what I'm trying to say. I've done that already. So I'm logged into my Amazon account, but not my developer account. So I'm going to sign in first and foremost. Okay, just signing into my account. It's free and everything. Now I'm signed in. I want to go to Amazon Alexa. Now I'm just going to do it slowly because I have to get my bearings. From here, I believe I want to go to Skills Builder. Then I want to go to Developer Console. If I'm wrong, I will go back. I'm kind of guessing here. I did this once before and I screwed it up. Yes, okay, there we go. This is where all of your skills will be hosted. Now these, ignore them because I screwed up. I honestly, this was one of the hardest things to figure out. And there are no YouTube videos online explaining this. Believe me, I dug deep. So this could be the best training out there. It will be the best training out there. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to be careful. These are garbage. I had to learn through my failures. This has been removed. Ignore this. Pretend it wasn't there. Here we go. Step 1, create skill. Okay, I have to focus here, even though I'm by myself. Skill name. This is important. This cannot be changed. I know this through blood, sweat, and tears, and I also know it through the information I was able to find. So the skill name will be the name of your feed. For me, we're doing the news right now. We're doing a flash briefing. We're going to ignore the podcast tonight, or today, or Thursday. Thursday, Mark will ignore the podcast. I'm going to copy this. That's what will show up in the Alexa store, apparently. I'll say apparently a lot because, I mean, fingers crossed. Paste. Okay, I'm going to check the type. This is very real for me right now. I can't screw this up. This is happening right now live. Well, live. On March 31st. I want to check my typos, double check my syntax. I want the capital T. I want my brand there, and I want you. Okay. Okay. That's just the name that will show up in the store. Apparently, it's not the one that will be said by Alexa. Default language, I need Canada because for me, I am Canadian and I want to see it in my Canadian store. That's a whole other issue. If you're American, choose American. If you're Canadian, choose Canadian. Are you going to be able to add other languages after so you show up in all English speaking stores? I'm sure you're asking that. Well, apparently yes. You know why? Because it says more languages can be added to your skill after creation. This is something Thursday Mark will address. Okay? I need to do this. I found out the hard way. If I do US store, I don't see it and I can't test it on my own device. So I must do this. You want to do wherever you're from, okay? Here we go. Choose a model to add to your skill. Here we go, flash briefing. Feel free to browse the rest. I'm also doing my podcast as a flash briefing skill, but that, once again, we're not doing that right now. I'll select flash briefing. That's good. That's it. Okay. Okay. I think I got stuck here. I think we're good. Is that it? Create skill. Let me just eyeball this. I don't want to screw it up. I got one shot at it. This is it. Okay. As I cross my fingers by myself, just like I did when I applied for iTunes, create skill. Okay, good. This is what I want. Flash briefing. Perfect. This is what we should be seeing. So I'm going to enter my custom error message, which for me, here it says, if you hover over, it goes, Alexa says this to the customer if the skill fails rendering the content. For example, skill name is not available at the moment. I want to put, the wealthy trainer is currently not available. That's what I want to put. I'm going to paste it and see how that sounds. Let's listen to it.
The wealthy trainer is currently not available.
Oh my God, that sounds so cool. It sounds so cool when she says your brand's name. Save, okay. I'm going to take it. I'm taking a chance here. Oh, I do have to do that. Let me. Okay, there we go. I had to do that. Did I save it last? I'm going to go back. I'm going to take a chance. Ah, shoot. Did I mess up everything? Okay, I hope it didn't mess anything up. Hey, you guys are seeing the real deal here. I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm going to try again and hope for the best. Hopefully it didn't like reserve that like a domain name. Welcome to my world. Okay, I'm gonna go again. I'm just like a little flustered. I didn't want to mess it up. And I'm alone too. That's the crazy part. Create skill. Will it let me? Okay, good. We're good. I'm going to go. So, okay, so don't watch me in total. Don't do it as I'm doing it because that was a little messy, I think. I didn't do any harm, but I'm going to paste this again. I'm going to listen to her again.
The wealthy trainer is currently not available.
So I think when I go save, it'll bring me to add new feed. I'll just go save. Okay, I just had to save it. Now it's saved. Now it's saved. Okay, good. I learned something, and you probably all are too. Okay, preamble. This is the part that says a short introduction for the feed that Alexa reads to the customer before the feed contents. Should start with in or from. Because it goes, she says something like, well, Thursday, Mark will show you. She says something like, here's your news from blank or in blank. And I thought this through, I want from Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer news. That's what I want. This is up to you. You don't have to copy me. It should be from Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer. But no, I want that because I'm doing 2 of them. From Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer news. From Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer podcast. Yeah, I want that. That's what I want. Oh, we're going to listen to it. See how it sounds.
From Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer news.
Beautiful. That's what I want. I love that. I love it when she says it. Okay, name identifies this feed, for example, developer news. Okay, I had something thought out here. I'm going to take a second and think. Let me see. Yeah, it's a little unclear. Developer news. For example, developer news, a name. I'm going to go with Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer news. Life Hacks news. Daily Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer. See, now I'm thinking. Oh, okay. I remember the guy saying this. So feed name cannot be changed. So that's what I want. I want to put this, Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer, but I'm putting news because I'm going to have one for podcast too. That's the name of your feed, and that cannot be changed. So I guess I'm using the same as the name. I'll let you know on Thursday how this turned out. And if all goes to crap, I'll delete the skill and recreate a new one by Thursday. But I think this is good. Update frequency, I want hourly. You can have, basically, this is how often they update it on their servers. Why would I have daily or weekly when I can have hourly? If someone wants to update, if someone wants to check up on me the more often's the better, period. Content type. Here we go. Audio. Genre. Let's see what they got. Business. Yeah. No. Lifestyle. Sports. I'm going. That's questionable because I'm health, wealth, and random lifestyle. Let me think about that for half a second. I'll make a quick decision here. My options. I'm looking at my options. I'm gonna go with lifestyle or business. Okay, it just hit me like a brick. I'm doing business because that is my end result. I use lifestyle to improve my business. I use health to improve my business. Everything I do in turn for me is to generate business. I want this in the business category. Okay, there we go. Feed. Haha, there's the RSS. Let me go grab that. Make sure I grab the right one. News, copy. This is incredibly difficult to figure out, but we have it, I believe. Paste. Okay, good. Get rid of that space. I want everything to be perfect. Feed icon. Okay, I got the sizes right here. I mean, I know them. Oh, I don't. 512 by 512. Thursday, Mark, explain the sizes, please. This is the larger one. That's the one I'm using on my SoundCloud right now. So drop your feed. Can I click and add? Yes, I can. I'll go grab it. Document. Alexa, large. Okay, I got one for the news and podcast. I'm doing the news. Is this the one I want? Yes, it is. 512 by 512. Yeah, see, that's my dimensions. Thursday, Mark. Well, perfect. Perfect. I just want to get this done so nothing times out on me. Add. Is that it? Oh, I thought I got an error. Okay, yeah, the wealthy trainer. Oh, it's asking me to save it. I think that's it. I think we're done. Life hacks. Here's where I could edit it if I need to. I think life hacks with the wealthy trainer news. I love it. Perfect cover, genre, audio, default. Okay, we already listened to it, but I love it when Alexa says my name, so we'll do it one more time.
The wealthy trainer is currently not available.
Perfect. Okay, let's do this. Save. Save. Okay. What's next? Maybe account linking? Nope. Maybe permissions? Nope. Let's go back up to flash briefing. Okay, now I know what to do. Because just as a side note, I went through this process before. I'm trying to remember where I went. I deleted my other flash briefing, so this is really from scratch. But you see these menus up here? I don't know why I'm realizing this now, but these menus up here are always accessible. So if you save, you just save. You don't submit. Distribution is where you submit. And you can navigate around without committing your project. I'm just going to go to code. I don't think we do anything. We're not doing code. Test. Let's go there. Okay, we're not doing that either. We're not going into that detail. For a flash briefing, there's not too much to do. Distribution is where I think it happens. Okay, here we go. This is where we fill out more information. Certification is where we submit. I'm going to go show you because you see all these blank fields? It won't let you submit your skill or your flash briefing. Excuse me. I'm going to grab some water unless you have everything in there. So if I go to certification, watch the validation. See? Required fixes. So it won't let you submit a skill. It verifies for you. That's really good. Once it validates correctly, then you can submit. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, let me take a sip of water. Okay, so now let's go fill out the distribution stuff. This is where we put in our 2 images, right? Yes, okay. Okay, so public name, that's what I want to show up. 1 sentence description will be a quick at-a-glance sentence that describes the skill or what customers can do with it. This will display in the skill list in the Alexa app. So there's no example, but I did type, there we go. This is what, see, it remembered from my first skill. So I'm going to probably make note of this for my podcast. Copy. But first, let me see if that's what I want. Listen to daily life hacks with the wealthy trainer. No, I'm going to take that off and I'm going to say, You know, I'm not going to put daily because I'm not committing to daily. I don't want to commit to daily stuff. I don't want to commit to daily anything anymore. So some days I may have many of them. Some days I may have none of them. So what Alexa does is she's going to grab the most recent one that I believe that user has not heard, which is why I like the hourly update. So I'm going to say, for my case, I would just say listen to Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer. For me, it's very clear. But I'm going to put news because with the Wealthy Trainer news, listen to Life Hacks news. No, I'm going to put this. Now remember, this is my brand. This is the way I'm doing it because I'm also going to have, I'll say it again, I'm also going to have a podcast skill or a podcast flash briefing. So on that one, I'll say, listen to Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer news. Do I want to put that, or do I just want to put Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer on both of them? Okay, I want news in my case. Now, this is something I believe we can change later. So if I ever change my mind, I'll let you guys know. Thursday, Mark, let them know. Thursday, Mark will know by then. So I'm going to leave that. Detailed description. Okay, perfect. This is where I go to my SoundCloud and I grab this description. If you want to know how to build a proper description for a podcast, you will go to the last Octo content session. I think it's called Podcast Week, creating your RSS feed, updating your description. It would be week number, I don't know, maybe week number 10, session number 10. So I grabbed this, the whole description. You want to properly build that, like I just said. We want to go to, I have it copied here with news. For my podcast one, I'm going to replace podcast. And I'm just going to copy that. I triple checked it, but I'm sure that can be changed as well. I'll go back to my Alexa developer console. And I'm going to paste that. Perfect. I love it. It's good. I'm going to just quickly glance at it. I'm going to copy this for my file though, so I have it whenever I need to create another skill or another flash briefing, my podcast one. I want to have it here. Now I'm thinking the Wealthy Trainer Life Hacks. No, I'm just looking at my error message. Do I want to be more specific? That's good enough because the Wealthy Trainer is my character, my brand. Okay, so we have the description. Let's keep the ball rolling here. Can I just save as we go? I'm just going to do it all. What's new? Use this field to let customers know what new features this version introduces and what issues are resolved with this version. If this is your first version, you can leave it blank. I'm leaving it blank. Okay, that's just my Grammarly. That's not going to pop up. That's just my thing. That's just an add-on for my spelling because it's not that great. Okay, let's keep going. Example phrases. Flash briefing does not... Oh, let me read it. Example phrases. Sample utterances, I love that word, that will appear on the skill detail card in the Alexa app. These phrases will help users get started and enable them to access your skill's core functionality. Oh, that's the wake word. No, so it doesn't support custom phrases. No problem. So in other words, this is how your skill will be called. When someone subscribes to your skill, this is how they call it in the morning. So we don't touch anything here. Alexa, what's my news? What's in my news? I just say, Alexa, what's in my news? And she knows. Okay, here we go. Icons. Thursday, Mark, we'll go through this with you, the details. But you need one icon that's 108 by 108 pixels and one icon that's 512 by 512. We already uploaded the 512 by 512. I'll show it again. Mine is right here. Alexa News Large 512 by 512. I'll upload that. That's my news one. All I have is a little different icon, a podcast icon. I'll show you guys on Thursday what these look like and how to do them, how to graphically design them. 108 by 108. I have a small one for that. I created these in advance. Here it is. Life hacks with the newspaper. There, beautiful. I'm loving this. Category. Let's go pick a category. They appear to be different from the other set of industries or whatever we used. So let me just see. Education and reference. No, I don't want that. Because it's life hacks. Games and trivia. No, none of that. Well, it's a pretty big bar, but we're going to go through them all. I got to pick the right one. I'll know right away. Health and fitness. Nope. Kids. Nope. We have games. Nope. Scan through all of those. Music and audio. Let me see. No. Podcasts. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Not for this one. Not for this one. I don't think. What do we have? Music? Do we have news? Let me just see. Podcast is a good option. But this is not podcast. Health and wellness, life skills, holidays. I'm sure I could change this later, but I'm not quite sure. Oh, there. That's what I want right there. What do we have here? What's that? Lifestyle. And then we have self-improvement. Beautiful. That's what I want for this flash briefing. Perfect. Love it. Keywords. Did I put some down? Let me see. I did not. I definitely want keywords here. So what I'm going to do is, I had some on my old skill. Do I have to put them in? I think I'll come back and do those. I know they can be added later on. This too can be added later on. This too can be added later on to my recollection. And if they can't, it'll tell me when I validate. So let's save and continue. There we go. It's working. Okay. Does this skill allow users to make purchases or spend real money? No. I will guide them somewhere to do that. Does this skill collect users' personal info? Nope. Is this skill directed, or does it target children under 13? Nope. Does this skill contain advertising? Nope, it does not. Not directly. Maybe subconsciously, but not directly. Export compliance. I certify that this may... Okay, let me read this. I certify that this Alexa skill may be imported to and exported from the United States and all other countries. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yes. We're good. Please comply. Please, I want to be compliant to be all over the world that speak English. Testing instructions. It says mandatory. Please detail any special instructions that our team will need. Okay. Include any account or hardware requirements if your skill requests permissions. I'm going to put none. See what happens there. Save and continue. Distribution. All right, we're getting there, guys. I know we're not live. It's a pre-recorded, but I'm excited, and I know a lot of people are going to see this for sure. Who should access this skill? Public. Give access to anyone who enables your skill. No, I don't. I'm going to skip this. Opt in to... Okay, let me see what this means. Opt in to automate. I may rewatch this training, by the way, guys. Thursday, Mark will be well versed in this. March 31st, Mark, which is him right now, it's not. So let's see. When you submit your skill, will access its eligibility for distribution to all locales of a given language. If eligible, your skill will be made live in the Alexa skill store. So okay, so what's the skill? It can be okay. Yes, absolutely. Opt in. I'm opting in. Choose the source locale for each language. Okay, there we go. We will use, yes, okay, I want Canada. This is whatever we put in the beginning. Would you like the skill to be, where would you like, there we go. In all countries and regions where Amazon distributes skills. This is what you leave on. So this is your default location, but it's also going all around the world. Beautiful. Oh, wow. Okay, we got 10 errors. Let me run it. Oh, no, maybe it didn't run it again. Because I put advertising. So let's run this again. I think it takes the last check. Let me run it again. Yeah, that's what it does. It hasn't. I don't think it took the things I saved yet. Okay, I'm just waiting. I'm hoping for the best. It's validating my skill, it appears, or my flash briefing. So we're just hanging out. Okay. Oh, isn't that a beautiful message? Validation test results are ready for review. Last time validations were checked, 0 errors were found. We recommend to validate all skill changes by running validation tests right here every time you submit a skill for certification. Guess what? This is it. I'm going to click submission. Your skill is ready for submission. Once skill is submitted, we'll run one last functional test. Okay, let's see what this means. Certify and publish. Okay, there we go. That's it. See, this one means we'll just certify it and then publish it. But if I get approved, I want to be published right away. So here we go. Submit for review. Whew, that was a long pre-recorded message, but I'm doing it. Here we go. Okay, we did it, folks. Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer News has been submitted. If your skill passes all preliminary checks, it will automatically be queued up for review. If there are any issues processing your skill, we will notify you via email. You can check the results at certification in a few minutes. I'm going to go and check now. There it is. It's in review. I'm just going to go look for fun. In review. Okay, folks. I think that's it. That's it for the pre-recording. Let's hope that it all worked out for Thursday, Mark. And there we have it. It was long. It didn't really have to be that long. If I ever do this training again, it will probably be the same amount of time because I don't retain stuff that I only need to do once or twice. It kind of escapes my brain. But at least I can go and go through myself again. I'm literally going to use this training, this pre-recorded video, for when I build a future skill. Hope you enjoyed it, and let's see what happens. You guys that are listening to the pre-recorded on Thursday with Thursday Mark, you're probably going, yes, you got it. We just reviewed it. So that's it. See you guys. Back to you, Thursday Mark. Okay, am I back? This is Thursday Mark. What's up, guys? I was in the chat for a while, but I was actually... Let me know if you see this screen. It's my approvals, yo. Please let me know in the chat if you see my screen. I can see the chat, but I can't type in as I'm teaching here. What I did was, I didn't engage that much in the chat. I was there. I engaged a little bit, but I was, hear that? I was taking notes while that recording was going. Kind of funny, eh? Eh? Kind of funny. It's funny I say eh, because I am Canadian, eh? And I'm in the Canadian store right now. You see my screen, right, guys? So this is it. I got approved, but this is the Canadian store. So I'd like to address a few things that went wrong they didn't go wrong, but a few things not to do. First thing I want to say is this is Thursday Mark. Thanks, guys. You can see me perfect. You can see my little emojis or they're not emojis, my little logos. We'll create those too. I know we're like an hour and 20 in, but this was, I don't know, this is worth its weight in gold. I'm going to stop saying that because like I said earlier, the less you take action, the better. Here's what I want to say. First of all, I wrote this down, so it must have meant something. Oh yeah, it's funny how I was struggling doing that in that pre-recording. And now, like today, I could literally create a skill in my sleep or with my eyes closed. It's just amazing how you can get really good at something with like super focus, right? And just focusing on one thing. Okay, so now I just put that down because I find it funny how with the amount of struggling I did in that pre-recording and compared to now, that's only 2 weeks. That's not even 2 weeks. That's 10 days, 9 days ago. That's March 31st. or April 9th. And it fascinates me how you can reach expert level, almost expert in certain things. When you first get into them, you're like, I have no clue what to do or where to go, or it's just amazing. I'm such a fan of this whole education thing and learning and becoming an expert at something. Let's go. First thing I want to say is that for detailed, I wrote this as the recording was going. For detailed SoundCloud and RSS feed stuff, go to the following modules. We already covered them, but for the audio creation, where we created your podcast in audio format and your flash briefing in audio format, you want to go to session number 7. And for more details, where we actually submit your podcast, the voice podcast, to iTunes, that's week 11. So session 7 and session 11. Isn't that funny? Session 7 and 11. I don't know if you guys know what 711 is. It's my angel number. This is probably a sign. It is a sign. I'm getting all hocus pocus on you guys. It's a sign. 711 is my angel number, so that means I should be doing voice. This is a sign to say, get your voice stuff out there. So I put that. That's if you need more details. What else do I want to do right now? I want to, oh yeah, don't you love the congruency of this whole thing? So let me take a sip of water. I'm doing water now. Don't you love the congruency, guys, with Roscoe the dog? I just find that pretty beautiful. How in week 1, it's been a crazy 3 months, right? I mean, it's been a crazy 3 months, or 12 weeks. It's week 12 next week. We're wrapping it up in another week after that. But if you look at the beginning, how I literally just filmed the Roscoe the dog piece of content on week 1, just like completely random. And now it's getting heard by a lot of people, and I put it through the whole process when I didn't even know what the process is or was, or how to do the process. When we started Octo Content Model, it was a dream. It was a big idea. It was like a big, an audacious goal. I'm like, okay, let's make this happen. And here we are, 12 short sessions afterwards, and it's all become real. It's unbelievable. The Roscoe the dog that I filmed like a piece of content, like anyone else would, and it turned into so many things. It's a flash briefing, it's a podcast, it's on Alexa, it's on iTunes, it's got a video clip, it's got image quotes, it's crazy what we've been able to do with that. It's been a kind of like a rough road at times, but the end result is all there. It's unbelievable. Okay, I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm going to bring out a quote because it's on the top of my head just right now. It's by Mike Myers. Mike Myers is Austin Powers. I'm going to take tea now. I've got all the drinks around me. Let's do tea. Oh, that's cold tea, but that's okay. Mike Myers is the guy who plays Austin Powers. He's a Canadian actor, and he once said, "What is hard will become easy, and what is easy will become beautiful." So I love that quote because what's once hard will become beautiful. And I find that with this process of octo contenting, it's hard. It was hard at first because it didn't exist. We created it here all together in 12 weeks. But now it's kind of like it's kind of at the easy phase, but it's starting to get beautiful. Because when you film a piece of content now, you know what it's going to do. You know how it's going to be formatted. You know everywhere it's going to go, and you know what it's bringing you back. So it gives you, I think, for myself, it's a beautiful thing because it encourages me to really give it my best. when I do my content, not just push record and go, it's good to do that too. But in between a nice work of art, the content part. I don't know if you guys see the beauty in this whole thing, but I think it's beautiful the way Roscoe the dog literally transformed into what it is today. And it's the same piece of content. Whoo, that was a squirrel, but it was a beautiful squirrel. Okay, now different cover art for flash briefings I wrote down as that recording was going. Oh, here we go. Should I show you that now? Let's do that. I wrote this in this order. Let me flip my page. I just took 2 pages of notes as I was listening to myself. Okay, so first things first, I got approved. Yeah, let's attack this first, then we'll go to the cover art. This is the Canadian store. I got approved. There it is. Isn't that something? Isn't that beautiful? You can sign up for the skill. You can listen to it. Anyone can. When it comes to marketing of the skill, well, that's something I'll definitely cover in a training. I will have an Alexa training. There's no doubt about that. This is getting you up there, but then how do we market this? How do we increase our audience for this? That's a whole other thing, but it's there. It's unbelievable. Now, I got my developer console right here. I'm going to drag it over. Okay. This is how it looks once they're approved. See where when it's in development, see I have Life Hacks with the little microphone, Life Hacks Podcast, Life Hacks News. Then up here I have Life Hacks Podcast, Life Hacks News. But is that what it is? Let me see. What do I have? Why do I have 2 of each again? Oh, that's right. That's why I'm showing you guys this. Look at this. This is my podcast. This is my news. Today, we did the news. This is what we did today. Okay? That's what we did today. While I was developing it, it was in development. Once it got approved, I received an email. I'll show you guys the email right now. I just wanted to explain this. Once I got that email, yes, I was super thrilled. And it goes live. It keeps both copies in your console. So don't be confused. That's the same flash briefing. That was in development. Now it's live. It keeps a version, is versioning. It's like it keeps everything you've done. So if I was to do an update, it would log it at the top, okay? So there we go. That's what we did. Now, I'm going to address this now. CA is Canadian. CA was my default language, okay, when I started. Let's click it. Let's go look. But I want to show you. See how I have, let's just look at the live, and the live. For you guys, you don't have one of each. You just have the news as far as Octo content goes. But the process was the exact same. It was the exact same with a different RSS feed. There's nothing different. It accepts the RSS feed. So whatever's on your SoundCloud is what it's going to give. I just named it differently. Now, you see CA here, US here, US here. What did I do to create a USA skill? I simply put English US as my default language. That's it. That's the only difference. And the other thing you need to not do that I did in the recording is there was a checkbox that said opt in to automated locale distribution. I rewrote that whole sentence. It's got a checkbox beside it. Remember how I was excited in the recording? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to opt in to... That was March 31st, Mark. I'm live with you guys right now. I'm explaining to you, you want to leave that unchecked because you will fail the review. I could show you that email too. Let me show you that email too. Well, I could show you. Here it is. I'm in my inbox right now looking. It's on the other screen because I got all kinds of sensitive emails that I don't want to show here. I got to go through all this stuff. Okay, I'll just tell you. If you let me go in the console, see if I could see the interface right now. We're kind of navigating anyways. Here's what we did. I'm going to go back to the one we created that I applied for in the recording. Okay, let me see. Can I go from tab to tab? Yes, I can. It's already been submitted, but let me see if I can see the see that build. See that language thing I was talking about. View. Flash briefing, account linking. Okay, let me see if I can view it. There it is. There it is it? No, you see, once you set it up, you set it up. So you'll have to rewind in the replay, guys, because right here, the language is here. I'm not going to touch that. I'm laughing here. I've got a Canadian and I've got a US. It says you can add languages later, but I haven't been able to. I found I need to create a Canadian one. I need to create a US one, 2 different ones. Now, you will only see it on your store of your country. So wherever your Amazon account is, you can tell right up here by the .ca or .com. If you're in the States, you'll have a .com. I have a .ca. So to make a long story short on that is select your option when you first sign up as your country that you live in, because that's where your Amazon store will be. Test it there so that you can actually see it in the store. I'm going to go to skills. You're going to want to do this once it gets approved. Go to skills, then type in the name of your feed, your skill. In the store, the Wealthy Trainer is me. It'll bring them both up. See, that's so cool. It's automatically knowing it now. There it is. So if you are in the States and you apply for the Canadian flash briefing and get approved, you won't see it in your store, but it doesn't mean it won't show up in the Canadian store. It will show up in the Canadian store. I hope that's clear. You have to create multiple skills for multiple countries. So my next country is the UK. It's the same exact process because it's grabbing from the same RSS feed. Pretty clear, right? I mean, I don't have to go through the whole SoundCloud thing. I just told you guys, I showed you in the recording where the RSS feed is. And I also told you guys that for detailed SoundCloud and RSS feed info, you go to the Audio Creation Week, session 7, and then go to Podcast Week, session 11. Okay, good. What else did I make note on? Oh, yeah, of course, you can save as often as you like. In my recording, I was kind of confused because remember when I just saved and I was, oh no, I was like literally in a panic mode. I was like, what did I do? Didn't matter. As long as you save it, you can leave and you can come back. Good to know. You just go through the tabs up here. What's next? The only thing you cannot change later, and I've kind of played with this. I was going to say is the feed name, but I'm wrong. It's everything. There we go. We're learning again here. I've never gone and had to change anything because guess what? I can't change anything. Once it's done, it's done. You would have to delete it in the console and you would have to recreate it. Okay? So we got that. This was, I'm going to stop saying how difficult it was to get to this point, but I will address that at the end of tonight in terms of what we have here as a skill to create skills. So let me just keep going here. What do I have? Now we're into the cover art. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm going to attack the SoundCloud issue right now. not the cover art for this. We're going to create that in Canva, okay? We'll create these little, we need 2 of them. They're, what would you call them? Cover art for Alexa skills, I guess. You need 2 of them. You need a 512 by 512, and you need a 108 by 108. So they show up in the store. They got different sizes. I'm guessing for different devices. It's that right there. But that's not what I'm talking about. In the recording, my voice is really dry. I'm just going to sip water throughout. This is really weird when you're training, guys, for long periods of time. Side note, if you're in a conversation with someone, it's different. Well, I did have a break because I had a video plugged in. But if you're in a conversation with someone, you're only talking half of the time. So if you're going on for an hour, what are we going on now? We're going to probably almost be an hour and a half. No, we are over an hour and a half. 2 hours. Your voice does get raw. Let me take a sip of water. Then I'm going to tell you guys about a pivot I've taken. I'm going to address the SoundCloud cover art. Let me go to SoundCloud. Remember just now in the recorded video how I said, I've decided to play big. I'm going to go to Life Hacks News. Copy. I'm going to go to Life Hacks Podcast. Here I'm just going to address the RSS feeds that I'm using. I'm not going to go to my branded SoundCloud. If you guys were listening and paying attention to what not paying attention, it's a little weird. I'm not going to refer to my Wealthy Trainer SoundCloud. I'm going to refer to my SoundClouds that are the 2 RSS feeds. So if you look right here, see how it says news right here? And here it says podcast right here below the Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer. Podcast and news. Ignore the cover art right here. It's not really important because I'm not marketing these things. This is for me to know. Look, two followers. I'm going to be marketing my main SoundCloud. Okay? This is strictly for the RSS feeds so that I could feed everything. Everything. This podcast one is really important to me because the podcast one, this feeds everything. I use that RSS feed from this account. Let me go to it. Is it up here? Settings, I believe. Content, right? Yeah, okay. Settings and 3 dots up in the top right. Settings and settings. And then content up here. That's this RSS feed. I plug that. I give that to every podcast platform. I give it to Alexa. I give it to iTunes. I give it to Stitcher. I give it to Spotify. I give it to Google Play. And I've got a couple more that I should be on. And all I have to do is open an account, just like I did iTunes, and submit this. So this is very important to me. I will go back to the news and I will address the news. The news is not as important to have cover art for every episode, because for the podcast, I want cover art for every episode because it shows up in more places. So I'm going to go to the podcast. I'm going to go back. When I say cover art, I mean cover art for every episode. So I have a title and a cover art for every episode for the podcast. Because if on Amazon Alexa, it doesn't show this unless they have the visual device. But I'm talking about regular Echo, Amazon Echo, just the voice. It doesn't show this. So it's irrelevant to have it. It's unimportant to have it, right? But on other devices, because I'm really blasting my podcast out there, it does show up, and I want a nice cover art for each episode. I want a nice cover art for each episode of the podcasts. But for the flash briefings, remember when I said, and it also shows up on my blog too, okay? Like, I'm just going to go real quick, because it's really coming together, the blog. Those of you may or may not know, I imposed a 7-day challenge on myself. Did some of you know that? I forced myself to produce 7 pieces of content in 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I octo-contented them all. So if I click on this, that's my blog post like we've been doing in the octo-content model. It's got the image. It's got the YouTube cover art, which should load up pretty soon here. Should load up. Oh, there it is. I just refreshed, so I have to give it a sec. And you see it's also got this SoundCloud podcast art. So for the podcast episodes, I do it. Some people don't. They keep the cover art for all the episodes. Now, for the flash briefings, that's what I wanted to talk about. These are the 1-minute clips or less for the Alexa news, Alexa flash briefings. I told you in the recording that I'm going all in, right? That because this is what shows up on SoundCloud. Well, guess what? I changed my mind. It's too much work for what it's worth for me right now, because I don't have a team of people, and I'm strictly creating flash briefings for Alexa. That's it. And that's voice. You guys with me? I'm not creating any more cover art for the 1-minute flash briefings. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm no longer taking flash briefings from my podcast episodes. I'm not. Well, it depends, because sometimes it's hard to find a good nugget in your podcast. If you're in a flow of a podcast or a piece of content, you're not intentionally, I found this out just through doing. If I'm in a flow, it's hard to get a 1-minute nugget. It's because usually to share an idea or give a lesson, you can't, if you want to fit it in a 1-minute time frame, you have to know that. It's like, if I want to tell someone how to kick their fears, feel the fear and do it anyways, if I know I have a minute to do it, well, then I could do a really nice job at explaining that if I know I have a minute. But if I've pre-done a long-form podcast or a long-form piece of content, it's very hard for me to go in there and try and mash things up together. So what I will do for flash briefings moving forward is I'm literally going to do 30 of them in a row. I will, in one day. I'm going to sit down, I'll write down my ideas, and I'll do 30 in a row in 1-minute formats. And then I'm going to upload them all to my SoundCloud. Check this out. All on my SoundCloud with no cover art, because I don't, it's too time consuming for what it's worth. This is just for the news. And then what I'll do is I will go into edit. Oh, I'm not in that account. I have to go in the, I'm in the podcast. But I'll show you guys how to handle this so you can schedule these darn things. You can schedule them. Check this out. If I go to my account, the real account profile, there. See, because I'm in the podcast. I don't want to do it here, but you can schedule by going edit, metadata. I'm going to pick a future date. See that? Look at that. Pick a future date to schedule it. Okay? So you can schedule them when you want them to come out on Alexa. I want to cancel. Now what that's going to do is, if I sit down and I say, okay, well, I got even 7 ideas, and I want them out every second day on Alexa. Or if I have 52 ideas and I want to put them out once a week, I just do them all in one shot, in one weekend. And then I schedule them all in SoundCloud. And now because Alexa has my RSS feed, I am done. Does that make sense? And then what I'll do is I'll just add the cover art of the channel here, because it won't matter. And if someone does have a visual Alexa device, like the screen one, they're going to see this for the flash briefings every time. I'm not going to do, well, this is the podcast, but in the news, I'm not going to do one for each news flash briefing. Is that clear? Does that make sense? The pivot I've done is just more efficient for me at this time to do them all in one. It just makes more sense, period, across the board. Okay, good. You guys with me on that in the chat? There's going to be questions. Are you asking? Oh, nobody asked about the donation button? You have an option to do this, guys, by the way, on all your SoundCloud accounts. If you guys want to add a donation button, it connects right to your PayPal. It just connects to your PayPal. So if somebody wants to donate to you, they can. I got some donations, but they're not big, so I don't know if I could find out who did that. Did any of you donate or something? I just put it up to see the functionality. I thought there'd be something I could put on it to say, I don't know, whatever you want. I say do it. But why wouldn't you put it up there? Put the donation button up, guys. I'm getting donations for some reason on one of the accounts. Might be, is it the podcast? I don't know. One of the accounts, PayPal's came in from SoundCloud. So if it's any of you that did it, thank you, but you don't have to. I just wanted to test the function. But what's important about that is that some people are going to listen to your stuff and they don't know you. Most people don't know you. And they're going to say, if you help them, a lot of people donate to this type of stuff. It's like there's a lot of struggling artists on SoundCloud, and they may think you're a struggling artist too. They think I am, I guess. I got some donations. So if it's from any of you, don't do that. Don't send me money. I have enough money. I just wanted to test it out, and who knows? It may help you, okay? So that's just an option. I think it's in settings. It is in settings. No, God, where is it? Add payment button. I got an email to set it up. Well, that's out of the scope of this. You can Google that, okay? How to add donation button on SoundCloud. Whoo! Did not want to go there at all. Let's go back to the task at hand. We are going long tonight, guys. What are you feeling? Who's going to do this? I'm just looking at my sheet just to see if all we need to do now is work on the image. I think that's all we need to do now. What I will do is I will show you the email as it looks once you get it from Alexa, because it's just really nice to look at. Let me see, where is it? It's going to come from no reply skill dev. Here we go. Okay, I can show you that. There it is. Your Alexa skill life hacks with the Wealthy Trainer news is now live. Thank you for your recent submission to the skill. For your skill, congratulations. Your skill has passed our certification process and will be published to the store shortly. Beautiful, beautiful message. So, lastly, let's do the image. I will show you. Here's my folder of Roscoe the dog. This is how far we've come in the journey thus far, octo-contenting this stuff. We started with a video, which I call, this is my new naming convention. What I do now, I may talk about this more in another course called Brand Resume. Those of you that are on board, we start on Tuesday. Crazy. But I will talk more about naming conventions to organize your blog. What I do is I put the date of the blog post on the folder, not on the file itself. So that's how I organize my blog posts, by date. It's in the folder, and anything that has to do with that piece of content is in the folder. Because some of them I don't have a podcast for. A podcast would not be beneficial. I need to stay on track of Alexa Week. I'm going off track a little bit, but this is how far we've come. I don't know why I came here, but I just want to show you where you should be up to if you kept up. We have the original video that you film on your iPhone or whatever. Then we have the full video, which is with the call to action and the intro. And we have the video clip, which we will put on social media next week in week number 12, Laboom week number 12, which will be on the 16th of April. Then we have the project, which is the original Camtasia. Then we have the podcast art, which is the art cover. Then we have the podcast, which is the sound clip. This is a bit of a review, right? This is the stripping the sound from your full video clip. And then this is the flash briefing, the 1 minute that we clipped out that I just told you guys I'm no longer doing that way. That now what I'm doing is doing them in batches. You know what I mean? The voice clips. I put News One Art. Let me see. Double click that. It's loading up, guys. So the first image always takes a few seconds to load up. There, that's what I'm not doing anymore. I was doing cover art for every flash briefing. I'm not doing that anymore. So that'll be gone. That's the audio clip. I won't be doing that anymore either. That's to create the audio clip. See, that's the Camtasia file. I was going to use that minute for TikTok as well, but I'm going to recreate for TikTok from scratch as well. I'm not going to, when it comes to 1 minute clips or 1 minute sound clips, I'm going to recreate them from scratch. It's worth it, like I just explained. It's easier to focus on 1 minute of content than try to find a minute in something. It'll take you a minute to create a minute, and to try to find a minute will take you half an hour. It's crazy. So it's just more of an efficient process now. Cover art for the YouTube channel and blog post art, which now what I'm doing for the blog post art and the cover art, I'm using the same image, except, let me show you. Hey, this is what this is. It's all about pulling back the curtains. The curtain. If I go to my last one, which was a couple of days ago on Tuesday, if I go to my last piece of content, which was, what was it? The Work of 6 Men, I think. I do the Work of 6 Men. What I've done for these images, here's the YouTube one, just because I was creating 2 different images, and I don't know if I need to do, I don't know if it's a little more work. I may go back to it, but what I'm doing now is I'm just adding text to the YouTube cover art, because on the YouTube, I wanted the text, because when it shows up in thumbnails and stuff on YouTube, this speaks to people. This wouldn't do anything. They never look at the title of the video. They see what's on the cover art, and then what I've done for the blog post, I don't have the text, okay? So on the blog post, this is at the top. Well, let's go look at it. See, what I used to do is I used to use different cover. I may go back to different images, actually. Yeah, it's just more work, but maybe we're going to test with both. See how I have a different image, gas your way to 7-figure income, and here I have a different image for the YouTube cover. But what I've done for my most recent one, let's go find it right here. See, I have this guy as the blog post image, and then on the YouTube channel I have the same image but with text. Okay, and I have the same image now for the SoundCloud as well. So it's just easier, it's less work. I think it's maybe not that important. I kind of like the theme of one image for the whole thing, because people will, yeah, you know what? I'm making that decision now. I'm keeping the same image for my next little run. My next 50 pieces of content, I'm going to keep it congruent, because if someone sees this on YouTube and then they see the blog post, they're like, oh, cool. That's the text portion of, I saw this on YouTube. There's the blog post of it. And if they see the audio, they'll be like, oh, that's the one. That's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, it's better. It's better, right? Doesn't it make sense to keep the same image throughout? Okay. Now we got that done. Is that what we wanted to do? Oh, no, we wanted to do the cover art. Let me go to here. I keep mine here. And what do I call it? Alexa. Oh, yeah, just open them up here. Large and small. What do I have to say here? Here's what I have to say about this. The large, you're going to want to write this down, is 512 pixels by 512 pixels. Now, something to note, we're going to go in Canva right now, but before we go in Canva to create a custom size image, you guys ready for me to go in Canva? I know it's a long one tonight, but it's got to be done. I do not want to leave a stone unturned. Look at this. See this? This is a circle that it's going to be. It's going to be put into a circle. See that little circle? That's why I make sure that my text does not go into the corners. See that? I played around with it quite a bit. I used Photoshop, so I just created a layer that was a circle, and then I deleted it so I could see the size of it. But keep that in mind, okay? You don't want to start at the top corner. You want to go so it goes into a circle. So, I can't recommend you on how to design this because you're going to have to go custom in Canva. I'm going to just show you where to go in Canva. I don't think we're going to create one. We're short on time, and 3 reasons. I'll show you how to create it a custom size because that's the hard part to find. Number 1, that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is we've had a lot of Canva training throughout the Octo Content Model. We've created custom quotes, cover art. We've created a bunch of stuff in Canva. And number 3, I suck at Canva, as you guys know. You're probably as good as me. So I have this for the big one because they can maybe see a little more stuff. And then for the little guy, I have just the newspaper. And for the podcast, all I have is the word podcast and a microphone, and then I just have the microphone. Okay, and once again, the little guy, the 108, is a circle as well. Okay, let's go into Canva. And then I have some closing remarks and some closing observations. Here we go. One more sip of tea right now. Can you guys believe we got all this done? Can you guys believe we figured all this out? That's going to be my final thought. I can't believe how far we've come in 12 short weeks. It was crazy. A skill that's going to go. I'm saving it for my closing thought. Canva. Here we go. Create design. Custom dimensions. There it is. Width, height. Let's go to the smallest one. 108 pixels by 108 pixels. Create design. Look at this. Done. Jeez. I'm not even kidding. I think I'm going to... look at that. New to homeschool? Choose empathy. Look at that. Look at that. It's not circular, but this would work. Look at this, guys. I'm not even kidding. That would be a perfect... I wouldn't touch a thing. Innovation Nation. New Alexa skill. I'm not even kidding. Look at this. This right here would blow up. Look at the homeschool advice. I bet you if you had an Amazon skill that was homeschool advice, it would blow up right now. I bet you, Jesus, I'm just thinking. Thank you, my Lord. Thank you for showing this to me. You're going to get a lot of ideas now because some of you, the boomers, are going to crush it on voice. Some of you are going to probably just do the content to get the voice. That's what Joe Rogan does. That's what a lot of podcasters do. They record their podcast, and it's their podcast that they're doing it for. They have like millions of listeners, and nobody watches their videos on their blog. They just literally have their podcast episodes, and they have exactly what we have, except people go for the voice. People can do anything when they're listening to voice. People wake up in the morning, they go, Alexa, what's my news? I mean, they don't even have to walk to their computer. It's ridiculous, but that's on Alexa. But people listen to podcasts more than anything because they could be doing something else and not be tied to staring at their phone. They could listen to podcasts in their car for commutes. Okay, good. Crazy week? You guys overwhelmed? I don't know. Are you overwhelmed? I'm looking in the chat. If you're overwhelmed, imagine how I felt. Okay, here's what I want to say. Closing remarks before we close off Alexa week. Wowzers. And those of you that are meeting with me, you know, you can ask me anything. We'll dive into your business. You know that. We'll do all the technical stuff as well. Get all your questions down. Oh, we're done coaching, aren't we? We're done coaching. We were done on the 3rd of April. It's only because I awarded some extra sessions for my screw-ups. I screwed up at times, so I gave like 2 for 1. I rewarded people. I don't know if it was rewarding half of the time. Many of us were just rambling the whole time, but there's always something in those sessions. Okay, here's what I want to say. This journey, folks, we're done. We syndicate next week. Next week is when it all comes together. Next week is when it all comes together. That's week 12. We did it. Then on week 13, we have our graduation party. Bring a drink. I will have my de-alcoholized wine, and I will have my alcohol-free Budweiser. I think that's what they call it. It's in my pantry here. I'll throw a couple in the fridge, and I have de-alcoholized wine, which I have here too. I have both of those. So I will bring my drinks. That's for week 13. Here's what I want to say about the whole journey. This was one of the most amazing learning journeys for me since I've been in this game. The rewards will come. I know they will come. They're going to come at a whole other level. I want you to keep something in mind. We're all starting at the same place here. We're all starting at the same place. Look at my YouTube views on my past 7 days of content. I haven't broken 100 views on any of my videos, and on most of my videos, there was 1, 2, or 3 people watching. Then it went up to like 15 on day 3. Then it went up to like 20 on day 4. Day 5, it went up to over 30 at one time. I think the last day, or 29, 30. Went to 31, my highest, people tuning in. But on day 1, there was 2 people tuning in. On day 2, there was 1 person tuning in. So it's going to get traction, this whole process. Podcast episodes are going up too, but we're all starting at the same spot. We really are. I'm not going. This is going out to people I don't know. Okay. Podcast hosting. I just want to tell you guys what I've learned really quick through this process. When I said on week 1 we're going to create a flash briefing and a podcast and all this stuff, I didn't even know what an RSS feed was. I didn't even know how that worked. I didn't even know that we needed podcast hosting. I didn't know any of that. I didn't really know what an Alexa skill was. I knew what a flash briefing was, but I wasn't aware that it was the same thing. I sure as hell didn't know we could put a podcast on Alexa. And the whole podcasting world about, like, you can have your podcast on something called Libsyn, on Anchor, on Blueberry. Like, I spent months, and I'm not kidding you, months, looking at every possible option. Like, how would I possibly know? I wish someone would have told me, put your stuff on SoundCloud. There's this thing called an RSS feed, and then you plug that into iTunes. None of this. I knew nothing of this. And there was nobody to tell me, including YouTube channels. I'm like, what the heck? How did that? Like complete. I wasn't only an amateur. I didn't even know where to look. So this last 3 months, thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you take action, because now I'm going to take action on what I've taught. What I've taught you guys, I haven't been able to implement. I did 7 pieces of content in 7 days, and it's getting smoother. I'm getting used to it. But what a freaking journey of learning. I learned more in the past 3 months than, I don't know. It's because it's current. It's relevant. Okay, we were on for a super long time. I'm putting a replay up now. It may take a few minutes, guys, in the Laboom Squad group. And shortly after, by tomorrow morning, I will have it in the social media is the new Hollywood school. So you guys can go and download it. Those of you that are, we're not called the Dirty Dozen anymore. We're called the Collaborators. So, because you guys are reselling that course. So there you go. That's it. Amazing. My voice is dead. I'm going to go rest my voice. And you know what? Next week, do what you can do until then. And I can't wait to meet with some of you. I'm meeting with someone every day until next week. And well, is that it? Is that it? Is that all I got for today? Is that all I got for today? Is that it? Is that it, Mark? We want more. That's it for today, okay? Love you guys. I'll see you next Thursday. Those of you that are tuned into Brand Resume, check your emails. We start that on Tuesday. Love you all. Bye-bye now.